What's going on, guys? This is Drazu here, coming at you with another MBL commentary. This is actually the second fight um, out of the two fights that I had against Psiha 1 in the MBL event. Now, as you recall, last time I was very hesitant to really be all that defensive. So this time I started out using the AP and FOS to really just be assertive right from the start. And if you recall, last time was the time where I used the death knell 7 times without it freezing at all. So I was a little mad going into this fight. I was pretty pissed off. So I was pretty aggressive on the first turn right there. And that actually went pretty well for me. As you can see, she went pretty defensive. And I grabbed I think the lead. No, I'm still behind technically. Yeah, technically I'm behind. But percentage-wise, I was ahead. And I decided to be defensive that turn because again, I started out being offensive, and I was like, okay, now she might use reflect because I'm being offensive and blah 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 blah. But so I used HNMS, and that was actually not the right thing to do because now she has dual FSS. Last time she only had one. This time she has two. So that is very concerning. That like dual FSS, that is very scary. And if you guys never gone up against that before, so this combo right here, this fucking combo right here, F-tab and UDS. This is how you beat Drazu in MBL. Like holy shit, that combo basically completely takes away my offense because UDS wrecks AP, absolutely wrecks AP. So yeah, it completely destroys Earth, and then of course F-tab completely destroys water. So I'm in a bad position right now. I decided to lay off the AP this turn and go all out in water, but she uses the same combo again, so that doesn't get much done either. So now it's basically clear to me and to her that combo she's putting up right now is a perfect counter to my set. Basically. It's almost perfect. Because now I have to get really creative. So instead of using Icicle, I use Static Cling. And then I use FOS for its mixed offense. You know, its offensive typing is really mixed and across the board. And then I use HNMS as well. Now, normally I would never make that combo because of the fact that HNMS and FOS both block 5 physical, and that's really redundant. So that's why I would never use that combo normally. And as you can see, that she lays off the UDS on that turn, and I still lose just by a little bit. But I go for the same combo again here because basically I just want to know how that stacks up, how the combo I chose stacks up against the F-tab and UDS because I need to have an answer for that combo. If this doesn't counter it, then I'm fucked. As you can see, this does counter it pretty well. I don't really take any damage at all. I take equivalent to 1 icon of damage, and then I put out equivalent to 10 icons of damage. So, or a little less than that, but no, actually no, a little more than that. 11 icons. Yeah, 1 of 76 is 11 icons. So as you can see, that's kind of a relief. I've got an answer, technically. It's not that great of an answer, but it's an answer. So hopefully that'll get her to not spam that combo over and over again and win the fight. So because of that, I go back to the AP, which was a good move because she went away from the UDS that turn. And I grabbed the lead again. So I'm starting to come back from the deficit that I put myself in at the very beginning. So this is good. We're making some good progress here. Now, note where I am HP wise. I'm under 1,000, just under 1,000. So now this is where I expect her to dump her freezer to go for the KO move. So I did this last fight, and I'm gonna do it this fight as well. I'm gonna double shield and then use drain life in order to push me above the KO range if I can. I think I can. It's really unpredictable because there are FSS around. So as long as both FSS don't go off, I should be fine. Now, as you can see, she used she used UDS as the weapon, other than the MMOM. So I actually took no damage that turn. I actually healed a little bit, which was really, really good. It turned out it didn't matter because none of those FSS hit strongly anyways. But I could have lived with one of them hitting strongly. Both, I'm not so sure about that. So luckily both didn't go off on me, and now I'm able to stretch the heal a little bit because of the fact that I know that freezing is no longer a possibility. Now I go to the board right here. I was confused why. Now, as you can see, that's me bitching about what happened last fight. I calculated the odds of what just happening, and it was really low, as you guys might recall. And basically, I'm typing here because right here at this point in the fight, I was worried that my AP would be reflected, and that's fine because I have thick smoke bomb. But that thick smoke bomb would only block reflection if I move second. So this is something I don't like doing at all. As you see, I'm typing there. I'm like, I fucking hate this. But you know what? I'm so pissed off from last match. I'm stalling. I'm sorry, but I'm stalling in order to avoid the reflection. So I actually end up not posting that. I ended up just deleting it and then just submitting my move anyways. But that was indeed what I was doing. I was mad, guys. I was really mad. So she didn't use reflect, so it didn't make any sort of difference, luckily. So I did. That was a good move, good turn considering her defenses. That was a pretty good thick smoke bomb usage right there. So it's becoming pretty even, and now she doesn't have her freezer, and I of course still have my freezer. So things are starting to look up. I'm like, okay, this is good. I did what I was supposed to pre-heal. So now I decided to heal up. I guess I could have used reflect here as sort of like a defensive usage, but I think in the future, like if this were to happen to me right now, what I would do is I would use reflect because defensively I would be guaranteed to survive. Because honestly, I'm thinking right now she's encouraged to use dual FSS just to go for the KO in case I try to stretch my heal even more. But neither of us do that. Both of us, in fact, decided to heal. Probably because she knew I had TDK. And speaking of TDK, it's post-heal now, and I know it's safe to use it. And now I'm using it right off the bat because, as you guys remember, I used it 7 times and it did not heal. It did not freeze any of those 7 times. So let's try attempt number 8, shall we? Attempt number 8. Let's go. And it did not freeze. Attempt number 8 did not freeze. No, honestly, I'm not worried in this fight about what happening again. I'm not worried about it happening again, but it just kind of like just knowing that if had I gotten an 8th attempt off last fight, that it still wouldn't have frozen is kind of like a slap in the face. That's really what it feels like. So now we're 2 turns into the post heal match, and I haven't used reflect yet. And the combo she's using right now is pretty defensive, but I still think reflect would do fairly well against it, especially since I'm not using KBT, I'm using TDK. The good thing about using TDK is that I'm not using water nor earth, so I don't have to worry about F-tab nor UDS. So, you know what? The more times that TDK doesn't want to freeze this match, the better, because I kind of like using that as a constant at this point. And as you can see, that's exactly what happens. Attempt number 9 at freezing her does not work. It does not work. Reflect ended up being a good move right there, though. So this time one of her FSS hit strongly, so I kind of lose that turn by quite a bit. But my TDK finally freezes on the 10th try. Yes, the 10th try. So that was kind of a relief that that was not permanently glitched or something. As you can see, Psiha was thinking that it was broken too. So yeah, and I almost responded. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? Well, I don't know. I almost typed something in response, but I decided against it again. I was just like, focus on the match. So right now, it looks like things are going very well. Okay, it's post heal. None of us have our freezers anymore, and she has about half the HP that I do. But she still has reflect, and that's a problem. So what I try and do is I try to use to shush it out. But since she used T tier, I know she didn't use reflect because there's no point in using T tier and reflect on the same turn. So I know that using failed that turn. And as you can see, that damn FSS hit strongly. So now it's pretty even. And she still has yet to use reflect. So what I decided to do is, it's pretty much obvious to me and everyone that she is going to use reflect this turn. So I don't put up any offense. I considered using static cling, but I said no. Any offense will hurt me more than it'll help me right now. So I put up absolutely no offense. I do dual shields and shade. And as you can see, that is the correct thing to do, because even though one of the FSS hit strongly, I did not take that much damage, and she did use reflect. So that reflect basically did absolutely nothing. So that was a good turn for sure. Now this is a really good combo I like to use because FOS pairs really nicely with Burrow, but honestly I should have used KBT right here because it's been a while since she's used UDS, and I didn't really consider UDS popping up right here again. If it did, I thought it would be with the F-tab, but you know what? She made a great move right here. She used UDS and I-Staff and punished me greatly for using the attack piece. So, if there's ever a question, how do you defeat people who use attack P? That is textbook how to do it. Psiha just showed everyone how you beat Drazu in MBL. Like that is exactly how it's done. So that fight, I had no problems with me losing. I knew she deserved to win that fight, but damn, that previous fight with TDK refusing to freeze still haunts me to this day. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm Drazu, and I'm out.